What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I am Wayno. I hope y'all having a good weekend so far. If you like what it is I do over here, though, hit that sub button and hit them likes and run up that hype. Today we talking about Diddy. Diddy has been sentenced. He's been sentenced. And I want to go through a little bit about how I feel prior to everything that happened. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, is a law from the 48 Laws of Power that I felt applied to Diddy. I personally believe that Diddy got drunk on power. He got money drunk. He got lust drunk. Too much of everything. You know what I'm saying? Nice and smooth from, sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. You know what I mean? No static, got it automatic. Too much of anything makes you an addict. He had too much access. You know what I mean? And he wasn't able to humble himself, but he's been humbled now. He talks about that throughout his time in the court. You know what I mean? When he speaks to the judge and a letter that he wrote. But this law is law number 5. And the law states, so much depends on your reputation, guard it with your life. The judgment of this law is, reputation is the cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation inaccessible. Always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Very important. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputations. Then stand aside and let the public opinion hang them. I ain't gonna lie, this is some heavy shit. But so the reason why I felt like that applies so much to Diddy is because he has gone through a public lynching. He has gone through, the court of public opinion before he even got to the court of law. There was a lot of assumptions. There was a lot of things that people were guessing and hoping and wishing. And the bottom line out of everything was, here's a person who had a lot of access and had a lot of power. And that power possibly made him think like he was a god. There's no man but God. So throughout that, he lost his way. Now, I want to play this video, regarding his letter that he sent the judge, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more.
Diddy has wrote a letter to the judge for his sentencing hearing tomorrow. Dear Judge Submaranian, I hope this letter finds you well and in good health and spirits. Thank you for the opportunity to express my thoughts to you. First and foremost, I want to apologize and say how sincerely sorry I am for all of the hurt and pain that I have caused others by my conduct. I take full responsibility and accountability for my past wrongs. This has been the hardest 2 years of my life, and I have no one to blame for my current reality and situations but myself. In my life, I have made many mistakes, but I am no longer running from them. I am so sorry for the hurt that I have caused, but I understand that those are mere words. I'm sorry will never be good enough, as those words alone cannot erase the pain from the past. Over the past 13 months, I have had to look in the mirror like never before. My pain became my teacher. My sadness was my motivator. I have to admit my downfall was rooted in my selfishness. Seeing an image of me assaulting Cassie play over and over in my head daily, I literally lost my mind. I was dead wrong for putting my hands on the woman that I loved. I'm sorry for that, and I always will be. My domestic violence will always be a heavy burden that I will have to carry forever. The remorse, the sorrow, the regret, the disappointment, the shame. I honestly feel sorry for something that I couldn't forgive someone else for, if they put their hands on one of my daughters. This is why it's so hard for me to forgive myself. It's like a deep wound that leaves an ugly scar. Your Honor, I thought I was providing for Jane concerning her and her child, but after hearing her testimony, I realized that I hurt her, and for this I am deeply sorry. Lost my way. I got lost in my journey, lost in the substances and the excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness. I have been humbled and broken to my core. Jail is designed to break you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Over the past year, there have been so many times that I have wanted to give up. There have been some days that I thought I would be better off gone. The old me passed away in jail, and a new version of me was reborn. Prison will change you or it will unalive you, and I choose to live. Every day since my incarceration.
Now, Diddy and his team, they did everything they possibly could to get him out of this situation fully. They was pushing for, the 14 months to be time served and him to be let out. But the judge had different things on his mind. Now, you know, it was said that prosecutors was pushing for a minimum of 11 years. A minimum of 11 years. It was reports I was seeing that while the judge was talking, everybody in the room felt like there would be no remorse for Diddy and that he was going to get hit with a hefty sentence. You know what I mean? That he was going to get hit with something heavy and all of that. Me personally, he's done a lot of horrible things, a lot of horrible things. A lot of people are going to argue that, you know, the things that he did wasn't that serious, but then we also have to take into account to how it makes these people feel on a daily, whether they participated or not, right? Let's keep it 1,000. Now, we can sit here and argue all day, all day, all day. Did anybody make you take drugs? Did anybody make you do this or make you do that? You are a willing participant. You are an adult, but manipulation has a lot to do in this situation said here. Diddy was a powerful person, and that power he held over people's heads. You know what I'm saying? The embarrassment, you know what I mean? The blackmailing, the violence even, you know what I'm saying? Like that video changed a lot. I said it on the last episode where I talked about this, that video, and I've said it numerous times, like that video was a side that we had never seen. But here's a video that they played in the court regarding Diddy and his path and some of the things that he was doing. It's kind of a montage of his career, and he broke down crying during this video.
What are you giving to the world? I don't think you know, man.
When my baby cries.
You gotta give her a bottle then.
Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
Wayno, fellow! No, get my lip, fellow! Thank you. You hear it?
You inspire, you energize, and you've left that for the rest of the existence of this planet, man.
One thing about great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere.
From New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something good. I wanted to get my generation in the hip-hop community behind us. They've come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And, you know, this is just a start. It's something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking it to the streets. It's a beautiful city, running all around. The city's going to be painful. It's going to be rough. But, you know, if we get through it, then it'll show kids and everybody else that, you know, finish what you started and you can do anything you put your mind to. And, you know,
Hindsight is 2020. And nobody hindsight is clearer than a nigga in jail. Let me tell you, man, I've had so many conversations with people that I had my differences with before they went to prison. And then once I talk to them, you know what I mean, I get word and talk to them on the phone. People that I had differences was everything that they felt negative is all out the window because they realized what they could have done better. Now, 50 Cent, you know him, he always chimes in. He wrote a letter to the judge. Shit said, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. Yo, this nigga is crazy, yo. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you're already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies which appear to be an army in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own rape allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public and babies needed. My Netflix doc, this scandalous subject is coming soon. Of course, we know he's trolling. Yo, what's wrong with this nigga 50 Cent, man? Yo, he's really crazy, bro. Like 50 Cent is really like, he's out of his mind, man. He's out of his mind. But this is no laughing matter. To be totally transparent, this is no laughing matter. There was a lot of people hurt. There was a lot of people scared. There was a lot of people who went through a lot of bullshit, you know what I mean, dealing with Diddy. And he's been sentenced to 50 months, 14 times served, 36 months. There's a lot of programs in, federal prison. He could get out in a year. You know what I'm saying? He could get out in a year. This whole free game, with Diddy thing, I feel like it was a gift and a curse because it's like now he's upheld to that, to keep that going. I don't think that he was not sincere in that space, but now he's going to be held to keep that going. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pretty sure he lost everything being in there. A lot. So the judge said, we saw the video that we just played. It says the free game course in the MDC, the court hopes you continue to expand it. You are devoted to your family. The court, of course, considers the collateral consequences. The court has to consider all your history here. So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, certain shit got thrown out, but we ain't throwing it out, right? A history of good works can't wash away the record in this case. You abuse these women. You use that abuse to get your way. Freak-offs and hotel nights. The evidence of abuse is massive. I was sitting right here during the testimony, right? The judge then goes on to say this was subjugation. That is the reality of what happened. These offenses irreparably harm two women. You pile them with drugs. Why did it happen so long? You had the power and resources to keep it going. You are more than a John, right? Also says a significant sentence is required to deter. You say that you're sorry and you won't do it again. After Ms. Ventura's civil lawsuit was filed, after the video was public and investigation started, you had a brutal hotel night with Jane, punched her in the head. That's what's crazy. So after all of that happened, he still put his hands on Jane, right? Now we all know who Jane is, 50 Cent's baby mom. Says, told her, take this pill, do out there, S his D, F him, I don't care. The court is not convinced this will not happen again. The court has considered the programs. They are outweighed by the trial record in this case. So it's like, before I keep going, right? Before I keep going, I just want to mention, man, that a lot of people are reactive, not proactive. A lot of people, would like to do shit once they get caught versus taking the time to heal themselves or do right when they know that they're doing wrong. And the reason why so many people do so wrong for so long, because it comes from years and years and years and time of not being caught or not being held accountable. Now, he says, a sentence over 11 years is not reasonable. Even the probation department recommends a sentence less than half of that, but 14 months time served would not be sufficient. He also says, the data shows a wide variety of sentences. Weighing all relevant factors, the court determines that the sentences is 50 months of incarceration, right? And then, hold on. It says, it also said that Diddy had booked speaking engagements in Miami for next week. You know what I'm saying? That they had told the judge, calling it the height of hubris. The height of hubris. So keep in mind, New York is not a Commonwealth state where they make up the laws at that moment. But imagine if it was, bro. They could have just made everything you was facing 20, here go 30, just because you had something like that going on, thinking you was gonna get out, right? And this was what the lawyer, not the lawyer, the judge has said to Diddy in closing. He says, as Dr. King taught us, out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. Mr. Combs, your mom writes that you've always been a good son. The same power that enabled you to hurt these women, you could use to help. Whew. I think that the embarrassment that Diddy is going to endure, not just publicly, but his family is the one that hurts the most. Letting your kids down. He has 7 kids and a 2-year-old right now, right? He has 7 kids currently, and they have to bear that embarrassment. I always talk about people are so selfish, they don't worry about who else is attached to them. You feel me? Like when you step out the house, if you got a family, when you step out the house, you got to remember that you don't only represent yourself. So the selfishness of how you could act in public, the selfishness of how you could act with others, that shit is gonna affect your kids, can affect your wife, can affect your moms, whomever. And you gotta be really, really cognizant of that shit, bro, because this shit is no joke out here. As you can see, I would have never in a million years thought that we see a trial like this, that we see even a sentence like this, that we see even a person at the height of Diddy. Right before all of this happened, he got the key to the city. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be nominated for a Grammy. He had so many things going on. And he was the unraveling of himself. But what does that mean? He kept acting on. He kept doing shit he knew damn well he wasn't supposed to. You feel me? He kept doing things and going forward no matter what. And he was not fixing himself. But guess what? He also was on drugs. And that's not no bailout either. You know how Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. That's some shit that's fictional, but it applies in real life. For all y'all people who sit out here and y'all say y'all want these things, some of y'all work for them, some of y'all wish for them. Most of y'all should be praying for them. When y'all finally get those opportunities, when you finally start climbing those mountains, keep in mind that you asked for this shit. So while you gotta take everything that comes with it, what really is gonna keep it is your humility. What's really gonna keep you in line is your relationship with a higher power. What's really gonna keep you in line is understanding and building a foundation before you even start doing any of that. So you could realize how important it is for what it is you wish for. I'm pretty sure Diddy, for years, he been rich for a long ass time, but for years, he was hoping. You know what I mean? Even after he went through the shit with Sean. You know what I mean? Went through the shit with Sean. Sean went to jail for 10 years defending him. You know what I'm saying? Sean came home, he ain't do nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? All the years of the publishing shit, the Locks publicly went to the radio station and was fighting for their publishing, talking about how he was doing them dirty. He's had a reputation for having bad contracts. I myself have never seen a bad boy contract, but he's had this reputation over the years. And with all of that being said, he's also done a lot of good. But that just goes to show you that your good is not gonna outweigh your bad. You know what I mean? Your good is not gonna outweigh your bad when you acting like this. When you on some shit where you don't understand how you affect people's lives. Because I'm gonna keep it 100. He should have never even paid Cassie. He should have never paid her. He probably paid her with the idea of her not getting on the stand. But he paid her and she still got on the stand. That's not by coincidence, that's by design. Cassie had a plan, man. She had a plan and she executed that shit to the T. Daphne, I believe her name is. I didn't know she had a plan, but she was affected as well. And just look at how many people this has affected. It's affected Cassie. It's affected Daphne. It's affected people who've worked with Diddy, his former assistants, employees, artists. It's affected his kids, his moms. I mean, I know those are people that's gonna love him unconditionally, but everything changes from this point on. So when you wishing for all of this shit, man, when you wishing for all of this, just make sure that you plan to keep yourself together. This is how I do it myself, y'all. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. This is how I do it myself. The hoodies is coming soon. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.